they have by not being on the field for 165 plays a game because they have zero offense, they could potentially be devastating to teams. A fresh T.J. Watt, a fresh Highsmith, you bring over Jalen Ramsey, Warren Thornhill, Darius Slade. You talk about Cam Hayward still playing like he's 23 years old. This team fresh in the fourth quarter for as many fourth quarter big plays we've seen them make, especially from the defensive line. They could be one of the best defenses, especially when it comes to turning the football over and giving their offense opportunities. It's all on Aaron and DK and the rest of this offense to make sure that they do their part so the defense can be fresh when the game time comes on the line.
Field, it sounds like DK Metcalf is talking like the 2000 Ravens or something. Are we relax, or are you in on this?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely not going that far, let's be clear. But I also think that this is August, and you've got new teammates, and you're trying to make a strong impression on your locker room. So this is what I expect DK Metcalf to say about the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I'll say this. I think the defense is championship caliber. The question I have is the offense going to hold up its end of the bargain? Because I think it becomes exhausting and taxing for a defense when you're getting to late December and January and you're saying to yourself, on defense, if we don't pitch a perfect game and hold the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Bills, whoever it is, to 14 or 17 points, we're not winning this game because our offense over the past 5 trips to the playoffs hasn't been good enough. Do they have that in their bag this year on defense? I don't know that they do because, as we know, some of those guys, especially Patrick Mahomes, plays his best when the moments matter the most come January football.
Some bulletin board material for Arthur Smith, Aaron Rodgers, and DK out there about the offense. I feel it. Speaking of offense, let's go to that offensive head coach down there in Jacksonville. That's Liam Cohen.
Choice to win a playoff wild card. I think, we don't get them a lot of credit about what they did last year.
Win a playoff game?
Yeah, playoff game. Yeah, I mean, listen, last year, they basically had a comb for quarterback when Russ stopped cooking, and they were still able to be competitive. Mike Tomlin always going to have a smart team that doesn't beat itself. I think with the defensive improvements, Jalen Ramsey can kind of play that Rod Woodson, Charles Woodson type of role where he can be that Swiss Army knife. I think they're going to find a way to maybe win a playoff game.
That would mean that they're in the final 4 of the AFC. Mike Tannenbaum, you're shaking your head.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I mean, in the history of our sport.
You hate Aaron Rodgers. Just say you hate Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'm just going 100 years of data. Is that enough for you? There's been 2 players in 100 years that have started a playoff game at his age. One is Tom Brady. The other one is Drew Brees. Now, look, could Aaron Rodgers catch lightning in a bottle?
Better than Drew Brees.
4 years ago, he was.
Okay.
All right. All my point is, I like their defense. They do have 4 starters over the age of 30, and Mike Tomlin is a Hall of Fame coach. But Aaron Rodgers hasn't played well in 4 years, and he's going to be 42. And there's a long history in our league, and 42 is not quarterback friendly.
Let's bet our eyebrows.
Yeah, I'm kind of in between. I'm in the middle on this.
You're not allowed to be in between.
Yeah, but, I think. Yeah, no kidding. I think they'll be a double-digit win team. I think they'll play playoff caliber defense, no question about it. The key is, look, like it is with all these older quarterbacks, offensive line play, the tackles in particular in Pittsburgh, they got to come through. Do they have another weapon other than DK Metcalf? Okay, do they have another weapon on the outside other than DK Metcalf? We know they got the tight ends. We know Arthur loves the tight ends, that being Arthur Smith, the OC. And
like
hey, look,
back?
And
Like
the new running back. You like some of the things that supposedly people have been saying about Aaron coming out of training camp. And his tape last year at the end of the season, Mike, wasn't that bad. So, I know you're going against 100 years of data. Or I'm going up against, and Bart's going up against 100 years of data. But I'm a little more optimistic about this team.
Let me go back to you, Mike, because I think what you're saying is, in 100 years of football, Tom Brady, and maybe Vinny Testaverde for a year. Who else?
It was Drew Brees.
Drew Brees.
Were the only 2 quarterbacks that ever started a playoff game at age 42.
Randall Cunningham.
George Blanda. I mean, there's a couple. Rodgers, though.
40 is the new 35, man. Come on,
Rodgers, though, they say, and Ryan Clark had a tweet earlier yesterday saying he looks like he's 2010, 2011 Rodgers throwing the ball. You see it right here.
I'll tell you what.
He's 2 years removed from the injury, man.
I'm telling you this. If he's that,
yes.
If he's having flashbacks of that, then, look, that may change the whole calculus here.
Hey, Pete.
Okay, if he looks that good and he can sustain that for 17 days.
Absolutely. There is a pathway. Caleb Johnson's a good running back. If they play 2 or 3 tight ends with Arthur Smith, there is a path. But when you're going against Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson, who are going to be point scorers, I just don't see this team.
T. Higgins's hamstring's going to hold up. Can they stop any damn body?
They don't need to.
Yeah, they are going to need to stop. So what do you mean they don't need to stop nobody?
They're going to score 30
How did that work? How did that work out for them last year? Listen, every time that Sweet Lou agrees with me, let's play a game. he got to take a button down for the ladies. You know what I'm saying? Let that stern him out. I'm surprised. I've never seen so much of this dude's shirt in my life. I'm used to seeing straight sternum.
You know, in case you haven't noticed, Bart has like a flair for the dramatic, but I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, there we go.
Give it to them. Give what they want. We need the ratings, baby.
I'm gonna keep it right here.
I like this.
All those acquisitions from ESPN just means more Sweet Lou for you, lady.
There you go.
Oh, God.
Bart shows up in a bow tie and
Sir Brother Noomsy.
and we're talking about Lou.
But Peter, he doesn't show up on time for the 6 a.m. meeting.
Oh, wow. That's
Because I'm usually on the clock. Man, just tell you what, with friends like this dude, who need enemies? Snitches get stitches.
okay. Bart.
Son of former NFL player Daryl Porter Jr., signed by the Steelers. 28 years after his father was drafted, PITTSBURGH time may pass. But the Porter surname is once again making its mark in the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers almost 3 decades later. In a curious and symbolic twist, the Steelers signed defensive back Daryl Porter Jr. on Tuesday. The son of former player Daryl Porter, who was selected by the franchise in the 6th round of the 1997 NFL Draft, but who, ironically, never actually played in the black and gold jersey. Now, 28 years later, his son seeks to rewrite that chapter and perhaps become the first Porter to represent Pittsburgh on the field. A college journey marked by persistence. Daryl Porter Jr., 22, was not selected in the 2025 NFL Draft, but that doesn't mean his journey went unnoticed. The youngster began his college career at West Virginia, where he played in the 2020 and 2021 seasons. There, he recorded 40 solo tackles and 1 interception in 19 games, demonstrating consistency and defensive awareness. Seeking a greater challenge and increased visibility, Porter Jr. transferred to the established Miami program, where he gained even more experience. During 3 seasons with the Hurricanes, he was a starter in 2 years. Facing some of the most potent offenses in the ACC, his versatile and physical playing style made him an important part of Miami's secondary. Despite this, he didn't hear his name called during the draft, but was quickly signed by the Buffalo Bills. His stay in Buffalo, however, was short-lived. Porter Jr. was eventually released during training camp. The door closed, but not for long. Pittsburgh offers a new opportunity and a potential legacy with multiple injuries impacting the defensive depth during training camp. The Steelers are exploring reinforcements to maintain the roster's competitiveness, and it was in this context that Porter Jr.'s name emerged. For the young defensive back, the chance to wear the same jersey his father one day hoped to wear carries emotional and historical weight. Although Daryl Porter Sr. played for the Buffalo Bills, Detroit Lions, and Tennessee Titans over 5 NFL seasons, he never stepped onto the field for the Steelers. Now, his son has the opportunity to do what his father couldn't, truly represent Pittsburgh. An open future, but full of potential. Porter Jr. arrives on the roster as a developmental prospect, but with real room to compete for a roster spot or at least a practice squad spot. His knowledge of the game, combined with experience from 2 competitive college programs, could be exactly the kind of asset Pittsburgh seeks in the secondary rotation. With the preseason approaching, and the battle for position increasingly fierce, the Steelers' new Porter will have limited time, but a great opportunity to prove himself. And who knows, perhaps end a cycle that began almost 30 years ago, this time on the field.